What's good, YouTube? Dom's Tape Sports Cards here, back with another video. I am extremely exhausted. Long day, but if Scott Reindeer Studios can do 10 plus VRs in one shot, who am I to not get this VR done tonight? So this one goes out to one of my favorite content creators, Mike Baseball Collector. Been doing it for a long time. Really great content. He's on all kinds of shows. My favorite personally is a Vintage Guy, being his Golden Age of Cardboard podcast. I look forward to it every single week. And Mike's just a great ambassador for us collectors. I got the opportunity to meet him at the National and go to the YouTube meet and greet that he hosted. And just a guy that all the collectors in this hobby should appreciate. His passion, his knowledge, and the time that he puts in for all of us between his various shows and his individual channel. So really appreciate you, Mike. You're doing community building a little bit different with this VR, but I love it. So usually as content creators here on YouTube, we kind of mend together through the things that we agree on, the positive things about this hobby. Oh, I love this set. Oh, I think this player is underrated. Oh, I love that obscure issue. But how often do us collectors talk about the negatives in this hobby in a way that can bring us together? Because we are the only ones that can relate to the stuff on my list. My friends and family don't understand the struggle that comes along with this hobby we love. And I had fun making my list. I did my best not to watch other people's videos so I could have kind of a clear mind. And I know there's going to be stuff that I missed that when I watch your guys' videos, I will point out that, damn, that was a good one. I should have thought of it. Without further ado, let's get into my hobby pet peeves. Starting with the online category. I do a lot of my shopping online, whether that be eBay, Facebook groups, or third-party websites. And when they list a card and do not show a picture of the back, I feel like I'm being catfished. That is 50% of the card that I am not seeing. And I understand that some people don't care about the back of the card. It's all about the front, and the front probably matters more. But there are condition issues that can happen with the backs of cards, whether it being discoloring, a stain, paper loss, a mark. That could be the deciding factor between getting a copy of a card or not. And I just feel like by not showing the second half of the card, that is not just lazy, but it's dishonest. You're not showing the person what they're really getting. You're only showing them the front half. And that kind of leads into my second point, which is not having an accurate condition in the description. Especially in my younger years, I can't tell you, multiple times I would buy a card, there would be decent looking pictures of the front and hopefully back, and the description would just say 1960 Topps Joe Smith, excellent condition. And I would get that card in the mail and Joe Smith would not be excellent. There would be a surface wrinkle, there would be some sort of writing. I had one time where there was no way that it was the same card that was in the picture. They must have found some stock image on Google or copied one from another listing, because the card was super off-center and had a crease through the entire card, and the image showed none of that. I'm okay with cards that have had some tough love, but be honest about it. Whenever you're dealing with other people's money, I just hope that you're being honest. And that's why a lot of my business goes to my good friend Brian B. Ross 6 on his Card Soup Facebook page. He is one of the most transparent dealers I have ever worked with. Even if a condition is not obvious in the picture, he will still let you know when you claim it. Hey, just letting you know, X card has Y issue. Do you still want that? Are you okay with that? And Brian doesn't just do this because he's a good guy. Brian does this because he has a collector background. He understands if you don't want a card for a certain condition issue, because everybody has their preferences. Beauty is in the eye appeal of the beholder in this card community. And I just feel like that gets lost a lot in these online listings where people just aren't honest about what they have. Trust me, the eBay sellers that have taken the time to give good pictures of the front and back and have an accurate description have always gotten the best reviews from me, and a lot of them get saved, and I go back to them for second and third and so on purchases. So if you ever end up selling cards, take the extra time, scan the back of the card, give an accurate description, and your sellers will never get mad. The buyers, will never get mad at you. So appreciate those honest sellers out there. Another one is when they list something as or best offer, but will not go below the ask. It's an option. It's something that I try to exploit on eBay. I will search by or best offer and see if I can send some lower offers and maybe get a hit or two. And eBay sellers, I would hope if they put or best offer, are willing to wheel and deal. But if you're not willing to go $1, $2, up to $5 under what the offer is, you're not really willing to deal, and that option should just not be there. So that always irritates me. I've had plenty of cards where I've tried to get it for $5 or less from the asking price, and the dealer wouldn't budge, and then I wouldn't buy the card. Final one, I'm sure a lot of people will talk about Scotch tape on top loaders. That is idiotic. It can damage the card. Use blue painter's tape if anything, but if you package your product well, you won't have to worry about taping the top loader. I just hate when my cards come in the mail, whether it's $2 card or a $200 card, and it is shipped in yellow top loaders or a cracked top loader. Like, are you kidding me? The shipping cost alone should mean that I'm not getting that in the mail. The golden rule that they teach you growing up as a kid is treat others the way you want to be treated. And if you're sending a card to somebody, you should be sending it with care the way you would want a card sent to you. So I just absolutely get irked when a nasty top loader comes in the mail with a nice, beautiful card in it that I gotta fish out and find a new, fresh top loader for. It's just, it's cheap and lazy. That's what it is. In terms of card shows, the National was the first big one I've been to. I've been to a couple regional shows, and the majority have just been Massachusetts and Connecticut state shows. So talking from that experience, sellers, and this is something Mike Moynihan has talked about multiple times on his channel, who say, well, I can't go that low. I have blank into it. Whatever the prices they pay. And that simply is not my problem. As Mike would eloquently say, the card is worth what the card is worth. You don't get extra money because you made a bad purchase. If you want to hold out on that card and try to break even or profit someday, that's fine. But your card should stay at home in a lockbox. Put away until the price goes up. Because if it is there for sale at your booth, I'm not going to pay you a premium for a card that is worth less than what you're asking. It just really irks me. I don't know why sellers do that. If you're not willing to be flexible and sell cards for what they're worth, you're missing out on deals and you're just alienating customers. Another one that I have is the pricing of cards with the old-fashioned orange sticker labels. A lot of you, especially Mike, said that it's a pet peeve to not have cards priced. I would rather there not be a price on the physical cards and they just have like some sort of inventory list on their phone or on a piece of paper than have to peel those orange stickers off a fresh magnetic or top loader, leaving that gluey residue on the plastic that I just bought a nice card in. Because now I gotta spend the time or the money to put it in a nice case because I'm just not displaying a good card in a residue top loader like that. It irks me, and I don't know why sellers do it. Team bag it and stick the team bag, or find a way around it. Use a list, whatever it is. Just stop using those old-fashioned labels. It's 2022. I'm over it. Final one It happens a lot here in the Northeast. There's a lot of old-time dealers, vintage dealers specifically. And whenever I see a seller, I ask them what they want for a card, and they pull out the Beckett. Jim Beckett was another guy that I got to meet at the National. He is a hobby legend, and he formed a great company. The Beckett price guides had their time in the sun. They used to be the who's who and the basically sports card Bible for prices. But with the way prices change nowadays, being in a recession and the crazy booms that we've had in sports card prices, book prices are obsolete. I just don't understand why people will continue to look at the book value to price their cards. 9 times out of 10, the book value will be wrong. And I just don't understand why that's what people still go off of. I really just am trying to check out with a dealer or make a solid deal based off what the cards are worth, and they're starting at such a different price than what the actual price is, and it's no fault other than them being stuck in their ways and using a Beckett. So you take the time before the card show, during the week, look up what your cards are worth, have an ideal number and a realistic number, and sell your cards. It shouldn't be that difficult. I have so many dealers that are really easy to work with, but whenever I see that Beckett plop on the showcase, I just shake my head and usually don't end up making a deal on everything that I asked about. In terms of the hobby as a whole, I will be showing a card. It's like 11 minutes in, but I bought this beautiful museum collection sick patch of Justin Verlander. This is a 3,000 strikeout guy. He's about to win his 3rd Cy Young, first ballot Hall of Famer, World Series champion, all of that jazz. And that patch from the Tigers is absolutely sick. But on the back of this card, even though it says game-worn material right here, says, you have received a primary pieces quad relic card of Justin Verlander from 2016 Topps Museum Collection. The relics contained on this card are not from any specific game, event, or season. So when did he wear this? Did he wear this? I don't know. And it's sad that the hobby has more money in it now than ever, and these card companies aren't willing to spend the extra money to buy official game-worn jerseys and certify them like Upper Deck and the companies used to do in the early 2000s. That's why I prefer to buy the old school patches. I'll pay the slight premium for the good authentication, but there's no reason that card companies can't be doing that today, especially with what they charge for some of these products. There should be legit certification on these things. I still love that card, but it's not as special as it would be as if it had the Upper Deck authentication on the back. So that's something that always irks me, and I always point it out on my videos when I get one with nice certification. Another one that I have is there are just way too many parallels. I'm a vintage guy, I understand that, but with all the different products there are out there, a guy that's a rookie, especially a hot rookie that's in all the products, ends up having so many cards that even if I like them, I get the flagship and that's about it. Because it's just way too confusing to pick out which ones are really worth spending the time to learn and get throughout hundreds of different sets and parallels. I get it for the modern collectors, the hunt of doing the rainbows and finding all the parallels is really cool, but personally, the base cards is what started it all, and I'm very happy when I pull a base rookie, because I don't have to worry about it. It is just the rookie. So the next couple things I have to say is about how the hobby markets currently. And as a young guy, 23 years old, I don't like how the hobby markets towards younger people. I've been in the hobby for about a decade and a half now, and it's just really sad to see that instead of saying, wow, this Justin Verlander patch is significant because it has 3 colors and he has 3,000 strikeouts and he won the Cy Young and MVP with the Tigers, etc. It is, oh, this card is worth X amount of dollars. I can sell it for X amount of dollars. And that's how they market to young people, is the dollar signs. And that's great. There's room in this hobby for dealers, flippers, investors, collectors, and a lot of those categories overlap at different times. I've sold and traded some cards in the past, mostly modern, but I think that the young people in this hobby, making it so money driven and not showing them why people collect these cards, the significance of the players and the sets and the short prints and the harder to find things and the vintage and the print runs. That stuff is why we collect. And if you're not making that personal connection to the cards with younger people, the long sustainability of the hobby is just simply not there. These kids that are flipping and trying to make money, as soon as they lose a couple times, they might hang up the hobby forever as a failed business venture. Instead of, as we know, that one player, that one card, that one set can turn us from a sports fan to a sports card collector. And I feel like a lot of the young people in the hobby today are missing that. It warms my heart to see awesome young channels like Crackerjack Cards and JR Baseball Fanatic 12. There's a lot of young kids coming on the scene, and I love to see it. But there's not enough of them. And it's because it's so money driven in this hobby. It's okay to go make some money. There's been plenty of opportunities during this boom in the last few years for people to make money in sports cards. But Fanatics wants to grow the hobby by 25% a year. And you're not going to do that if you don't build up a young collector base that will keep coming back for more. It's just not going to happen. If everybody's just in it for the dollar signs, that's not sustainable, just like any other market. And speaking of just coming back time and time again, the final one is just to collectors as a whole. I feel like we put up with too much stuff from the big companies, and instead of using our dollar to show our opinion on things, we go right back to the well and give them our money. Whether that be from different products or buying off their websites or etc., sending to their grading companies. And I think people are forgetting what the power of the dollar is. The collectors are the engine to the car here in the hobby, because we're the ones that will be here no matter where it's at financially. If it's at an all-time low, we'll still be collecting. If it's at an all-time high, we're still going to get what we can. But I think the hobby just lets way too much stuff slide and doesn't hold the big companies accountable enough. We have such a short-term memory in this hobby, in the news cycle in real life, and it just sucks to see, because I really think that us collectors, especially what I've seen from this awesome community on YouTube, can make a real change if we start talking with our dollar and not just on our accounts. So, appreciate you guys listening. As always, I feel like a real YouTuber finally having a card video up. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. More of a rant-based video, one card to show off. But go follow Mike if you're not already. Chasing Cardboard, Golden Age of Cardboard, On the Fly with Mike and Ty, Baseball Collector channel. It's all amazing. You will not regret checking him out if you haven't already. Have a good night and keep collecting.